You're about to open a window into the life of a ghost hunter. We'll show you dark, creepy roads that fade into the night. We'll show you haunted places, but most importantly, we'll show you what happens along the way there.
So this right here is the Reaper. What is this? The Reaper Ranch?
It's the Steak Reaper Ranch burrito.
Who got that? You?
That sounds pretty good.
We both got
the same thing here. And you already took a bite out of yours.
I did, but all I
like
really
a lot
got...
of tortilla.
I did. I got tortilla and I got sauce. So far, though, the sauce is really good. I think it's the Reaper Ranch sauce that I just bit into. And it is spicy. Not like extremely spicy.
Not like Reaper spicy.
No, not like Reaper spicy, but it is made with real Carolina Reapers, evidently. So far it's pretty good.
Well, I can't wait to tear into it. And in case it's not spicy enough, I got some fire sauce on the side here. And I was thinking about, we were in the drive-thru. You know, we were gonna get this to go and eat it on the road, but then I have these khaki pants on, and I figured that's probably a bad idea.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all. And you got
I got the cheese fries and just the taco supreme.
nacho fries. Those nacho fries are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's good that they brought those back.
Yes. And the cheese is spicy.
It is. Love the cheese.
So I'm gonna see if somehow I can bite past the tortilla on the first bite, or tortilla as some like to call it, but I see some L's in there, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that, because it looks like there's a lot, like this is all like tortilla up here. So here goes. Whoa.
That is about the cleanest obnoxious bite
It
I've
is.
ever seen.
I could have done this in the car.
Hers looks more challenging.
So we stopped here at Wawa in
Near Mechanicsville.
North of Richmond?
Yeah.
there's a police car there. Let's see.
So?
Hanover County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was reading that. No,
Oh,
I wasn't
yeah,
getting ready to
yeah.
run or
I was like,
anything.
so?
And there's no possessed person this time, so
Right.
that's
Right.
good. But yeah, we have 4 investigations this weekend. 4. So we're really going to be on the road hitting up some pretty cool places.
Yeah.
The one that we're going to tonight, the one that we're on our way to now, it has to do with anomalies that were picked up on a camera, on a surveillance camera. And I saw this one video clip where the grill cover was ripped off the grill, and my first thought was wind, but you know, you look at the trees and it doesn't seem like the wind's really
Not
blowing
really
nearly
that
enough to
much,
pull that
yeah.
grill cover off.
Yeah.
But you know, we're gonna go up there, and if we can do video, we will. And of course, that will be an episode of Paranormal Case Files if we can put that together into a video,
Right.
providing it's interesting enough. Linda, what do you say?
I think it sounds like a good investigation. The one afterward, I think, is going to be interesting as well. But right now, I think I better go and get a napkin and wipe down the hood. I spilled some coffee on there, and I'm afraid it's going to start eating the paint if I'm not careful. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Bottle I've ever seen.
That's mine. I look outside.
That is a big water bottle.
What? Yeah, we'll definitely go in there.
So we've turned on the lights because we're thinking that with the wiring, how we noticed when we turned on the lights over here, how the EMF levels went up. You know, like it reached out into the room. So maybe it would give something a little more energy to manifest.
I can listen.
Do you prefer the lights on or off?
The family that lives here used to hear footsteps up in the attic space. Who was that made those footsteps?
Sound like it said Big Sally.
I heard D.
I heard Dixon.
Who?
Sally.
Dixon? Like Big Dixon? Or just like Dixon? Like regular Dixon?
Dixon.
I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, especially for back then, it seems like it would have been. Yeah. Right.
Is there anyone buried nearby?
I don't know. Where is the cemetery at the manor house?
Do you have some sort of message that you'd like us to pass along to someone, whether they're in this house or not? What was your profession?
No, there's no ice boxes. The ice boxes are on the front of the wall, which seems like a long walk.
Around the back.
But we left this last location in Mechanicsville, and perhaps some interesting stuff there. We'll see when we review the spirit box session, some voices that came through and such.
Yeah.
And that, with the evidence review, will be on the Paranormal Case Files as well. But now we're heading out to Henrico, where there's some strange activity going on in this neighborhood. Screams in the night and all kinds of things getting moved around and weird stuff. So it seems to be centered around the time that certain people moved into the neighborhood. We don't really know what to expect out here in this neighborhood. We don't know if it's safe or what.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of like the Burbs, maybe.
Yeah, it does seem kind of like the Burbs.
Kind of like the Burbs.
Yeah, we don't really know exactly what to expect. So
right.
It should be interesting.
We did bring some binoculars, not to spy on the neighbors, but in case we need them to see something.
Might not be inconspicuous enough to use them, but we'll have to
Maybe
see.
not. We'll see. We'll check it out.
Station, or if it's something that like relates to what you're asking. Yeah, that was loud. Yeah, that was a little louder than the rest of it.
Can you tell us how many are here besides the four of us?
How many spirits are here?
There was a bunch of things that came through there that sounded like they could have been numbers.
I know.
Like
I heard,
4, 12, 1.
I heard 1. I thought I might have heard 6 at one time.
For some reason, like, when I turn it on, or if, like, I hold the device, or if it's near me, like, they're, like, comfortable, so, like, normally things pick up, like, if I ask, or, like, because my friends have tried to ask, and it really happens.
Maybe we ought to get her to ask some questions.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
So we wandered off here to Sheetz, and this is the burger right here, the ultimate burger, just so everyone can see what is on this burger. Traditional bun, toasted, jalapeno poppers, pepper jack cheese, habanero sauce, fire roasted tomato sauce, lettuce, sliced tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos on top of the jalapeno poppers, caramelized onions, black olives, chili, and bacon. Oh man, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm kind of glad that you're eating it, not me. I think that it's going to cause some major indigestion, some digestion issues at the very least, and result in multiple trips to the toilet over the course of the next couple of hours, maybe even just 1 hour.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I've kind of built up an immunity to this burger. Would you believe that? I've built up an immunity to this burger. So, perhaps an interesting time walking around this neighborhood. We didn't do a whole lot of video because it was dark and I don't know. They kind of wanted to keep it, I guess, on the down low because, you know, the client doesn't really want people to know that she's kind of onto them, perhaps, if they're up to something nefarious. Is that right?
Oh,
Would you think?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're, you know, walking around this neighborhood and people can recognize it and say, hey, that's my neighborhood, and
she was
that's my house.
Of her neighbors. She was suspicious that they were doing something that was, you know, causing this paranormal activity. So, yeah.
Right.
So she kind of wanted to keep it quiet.
Perhaps summoning something or opening up some kind of a portal or something like that as well. Some strange figures that have been seen in some of the houses, hooded figures, and just some really strange stuff, some really creepy stuff.
Yeah.
But some experiences perhaps while we were there that you would like to share maybe.
Well, I know for me, you know, when you walk down the street, there's this, like, it goes down a little bit of a hill. And the weird thing about it is that when you get to the bottom of this hill, it's very dark in there, out there, but it would just, like, the energy changed. It, like, felt really weird when you're at the bottom of this hill. And there was one specific house that was kind of dark, and there were some huge, big, beautiful trees in the front yard, but that house felt creepy. Like, it wasn't the house that the client was pointing the finger at. It was actually the house that was kind of across the street from them that I suspect was probably the real problem, the, you know, spiritual problem in this place. But I don't know. Who knows for sure? I might look into it and see who owns the actual house. But right when we're getting ready to leave, as I'm standing there, I see this, like, dark, tall, shadowy thing that kind of darted in front of this house and disappeared. And then a few minutes later, I saw it come back and look like it darted back behind the house again. So there was definitely something weird going on in that neighborhood, and something just didn't feel right.
Yeah, I agree. It was some weird feelings.
Yeah.
What would you say, Tanya, about that?
I'd have to say when we were approaching the top of the hill, getting ready to go down, I felt a temperature change. Slight, but noticeable. Also coming back up the hill, passing the dark house, was an awful smell, just a foul smell. Then as you stepped away from it, that smell dissipated. And up at the top of the hill, when we were sitting in the circle, I noticed several times in the corner of my eye, like a flicker of a dark shadow, but I wasn't quite positive what I was really seeing, but I did see it. Also, we were standing in the circle, and I noticed the light seemed to change, but there was no street lights. Nobody had their phones on or their cameras on. It just was a sense of a darkness, and then it brightened back up. So that's what I felt.
Yeah, some interesting stuff out there for sure. And we didn't do any video, a little bit, but we walked around mostly running the spirit box and with the recorder and experimenting with some apps and stuff like that, just to see. Nothing noticeable that came through that spirit box.
Yeah.
But the app, actually, that we've been experimenting with, it did say the client's name.
It did.
Which was pretty interesting.
It did. And we're going to feature that. We'll probably review that particular app on an upcoming video, so keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah.
We like to try out some of these apps every so often, and this one we seem to be getting some interesting results.
Some
with,
interesting
so,
stuff. Yeah, and at the investigation earlier, it said the client's mother's name.
Right.
And some interesting stuff relating to the other clients, the other resident, her grandfather and her father, and it was some pretty interesting stuff that was coming through. We'll have
Absolutely.
to go a little further though,
Right.
to discount the possibility of coincidence as well.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, here we are at Sheetz, and let's take a look at this build your own burger, shall
Yeah,
we?
I'm trying to eat, y'all.
So what I noticed about the app we were using was that it really wouldn't answer you in any type of order when you ask it a question. What I think would be good is if we knew the answer of what we were asking, and if we asked a sequence of questions, and if it got it right, we'd know we had a spirit on the other end.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to test it as well.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we definitely
So we
should
definitely
try
would do
that
some
when
testing.
we review it. When
Yeah.
we do a video review of it.
Yeah, I think so.
I just want to call attention to this knot, this big chunk. I mean, look at that thing. You could kill somebody if you threw this at their head.
You could, and I gotta say, I think these people that work behind this counter probably hate me.
I'm sure
when
they
I
do.
come in here and they have to basically open up every single thing,
Every
put it
container.
on this burger.
That makes me sick
Yeah.
looking at it.
They're probably looking at this thing and like, look, this guy's already got meat on his burger. Why does he need bacon and chili on top of that? And when he's got jalapeno poppers, why does he need even more jalapenos?
I don't
know.
I don't know.
My only answer to that is it's on the menu.
Oh my God. Oh, what a mess. That's a good juicy bite.
Those are good nacho bite. Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the brat right here. That looks
Yeah.
pretty good.
It does look pretty good. I got it on a pretzel bun as opposed to the regular bun. I just like the texture of a pretzel bun. There's something chewy about it. You know, I kind of appreciate that. But it's also got a little pico on it. It's got some boom boom sauce, which for some reason goes really good with the brat.
Oh, yeah.
And then some red onions on top of there as well. So not quite as loaded up as Jeff's burger. Not quite as interesting, but certainly pretty.
Yeah, boom boom sauce is kind of like ketchup. It goes with anything. You can eat it with anything.
That's true. Yeah.
And there's the little bit of damage that I did on that burger.
I think you
First
did
bite.
more damage to the bun.
I think so. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see the steam coming off of it. That coffee, I venture to say, is piping hot. What do you say?
It is piping hot, but I don't like sugar packets.
Oh.
They don't have the canisters. They have the actual packets, and it's just a lot of work tearing open all those little packets. Even though I do it like 2 or 3 at a time, it's very time consuming, and I'm concerned about that because most of the other ones have canisters, and then
Right.
you just dump for a second and you're gone. You know, so
Right.
that's that's one thing. But at least we found hot coffee at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. For breakfast.
Yeah, just can't complain too much.
So we're driving around, or along, I should say, historic Route 5. And that was not Bigfoot that just ran out in front of the car. It's actually the Bigfoot air freshener that's hanging here from the rear view mirror, which is pretty cool, along with the flying saucer. And speaking of that, there's some new water bottles that are coming out here pretty soon that Linda did the picture for, involving flying saucers in Area 51. So keep an eye out for that. But Route 5 is a beautiful drive. It's all trees and countryside. It's just untouched. And there's this long bike trail that goes along this road. We were just talking about it, and I'm not sure how long this bike trail is. Does this thing go all the way up to Richmond?
It goes, I think, pretty close to Richmond. Yes.
Yeah, and it starts down near, I guess, Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to get out there and take that bike trail one day. Not sure if I'd like to do it on a bike, but it's cool to see by car. Nonetheless, the reason this route is so historic, it's a very old road that I believe used to be one of the roads that went back to colonial times. Along this road are several plantations. It's known as Plantation Row as well, including the historic Edgewood Plantation, which is a plantation that we actually had the pleasure to investigate quite a few years back. Very cool place. But we're heading out to South Boston, and not South Boston in Boston, but South Boston, Virginia. And it was kind of a few hours sleep that we got before we got up, had enough chance to grab something to eat real quick and get on the road. Stopped and got some coffee at 7-Eleven along the way. But we're going out to this cabin that was built in the 1860s. And the client is experiencing some activity that may be centered around this picture. She brought this picture home from a secondhand store, and she said she felt drawn to this picture. Now, anytime you feel drawn to something like that and you can't really explain it, it could be a higher level reason associated with that, something to do with the paranormal that's drawing you to that picture. And when she brought this into her home, activity started happening, cabinet doors opening, and the dog that is blind and deaf is reacting to something that is in this particular room in the cabin. So we're heading out there, and we're excited about exploring this old cabin. And then later on tonight, we have another investigation, the 4th investigation in our 4-investigation weekend. So we're rolling into South Boston here, and sure enough, Sheetz goes where you go. There's one that's on the corner there. It's under construction. And perhaps we'll get an opportunity to come back here one day before long and visit it when it's open.
Could be.
See what kind of cool stuff they have in there.
That would be pretty cool, yeah. Especially with it being a brand new building, too.
Yeah. What are you eating there?
Well, I'm eating Chex Mix Maxed. It's like Buffalo Ranch, and it's like really super seasoned. But some of the Chex Mix have like the buffalo on them, and I don't like them so much. They're a little bit too spicy, and I think they kind of upset my stomach. I like the ranch ones and the pretzels, so I'm chucking the other ones out the window. Because I figured, maybe a bird would like them, or,
Yeah,
a possum.
Birds like buffalo sauce, from what I heard.
Could be.
It says leave the town of South Boston. Are we going the right way?
I don't know. You better check. Yeah, we should have.
So this is the road up to the location. And it's pretty cool. It's a dirt road. Like I said, we're going to an 1860s cabin. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to run video there and show what the place looks like inside and out. That'll be cool. But if not, at least you get to see the road up to the place. So we just finished interviewing the client, and that will be released in an episode of Paranormal Case Files, of course. But this is an awesome place. It's a cabin that she said it was built in the 1830s, and it was perhaps slave quarters on a plantation. We're really excited to get in here and start investigating. We're going to start with a baseline sweep, see what the EMF levels are like. I'm not expecting them to be very high around here. I mean, there's not a whole lot around. There's not a whole lot of other buildings, a few small cabins scattered throughout. So I don't even see any overhead power lines. There shouldn't really be any high levels around here. So
I'm getting a bit of a glare on that picture. I'd like to get a good picture.
Let me go up the steps towards the attic.
sure.
Just don't hit your head because it's really low.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting picture, huh?
It is.
It looks almost like something like out of Nightmare Before Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like some kind of character out of there. Almost like the mayor or something like that.
So my name is Linda, and we are not here to harm you. We simply want to know who you are. Can you try to tell us your name?
Can you tell us how many are here with us right now? Did you used to live in this cabin before Barbara moved in? Where did you used to sleep?
Why does it bother you when Barbara says prayers?
If I come to a place that you want me to stop at, tell me. Is there anything up here that you want us to find? Tanya has this little device here in her hand. If you come near it, it might light up, let us know that you're here. I'm gonna go back, let's kind of reach into this creepy area here. Door creaking. I don't see anything.
No. Like a space under there, isn't there?
Yeah.
You don't see anything back there?
I don't know. You got a flashlight?
No, well, on my phone, but not like a regular one. It's not very bright.
So this is pretty cool. We came down here to the edge of the property, and behind us you can see the original plantation house. That's the original house that stood here back in the 1830s, right? Or was it prior to that?
Yeah, 1830s. Well, my cottage was built in 1838.
So this would have had to been here.
Before that. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that, I mean, that's amazing. That's a cool place. And I'll bet they have a plethora of ghost stories, right? They must. I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they
Probably a lot of Civil War spirits.
Yeah.
I don't know what battles were necessarily fought around here, but
I don't think there was many. Yeah.
Where are we?
South Boston.
South Boston.
Outside of South Boston.
We're not far from Halifax. We passed that.
That's right.
That battlefield
That's
right up the road.
Yeah.
And because of troop movements and all of that, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if there had been some skirmish here or at least troop movements through the area.
You think there was a graveyard around here somewhere?
So we stopped here along the side of whatever road this is on the way back. I'm not sure, because Linda spotted this really cool old car parked up by this seemingly abandoned house, and of course felt compelled to take a picture of it. So we turned around and came back. And it's pretty neat, huh? Look at that. That's cool. So tell us, what are you gonna do with that?
So I have a book that's going to be published in late November, and it's abandoned objects and houses and things from Eastern Virginia. So it just so happens to be that we're in Western Virginia now, and I need pictures like this because they were wanting me to write another book for a different area. I have to do Western Virginia, and it's not too often that we're out in this area and can actually take a picture. So I had to have a
Well, it's after the investigation, of course, as you saw from the last video clip. We're heading up to Charlottesville now for our next investigation, and we've got about 2 minutes to eat sometime between now and the time we get there. So we might be either have to really work some kind of miracles with this food, or else we're gonna have to be a couple minutes late, which is understandable. But these are some awesome roads that we're driving up here. Look at that. Once again, through the dirty windshield, because we were in bug territory and their remains are all over the windshield. But this road just goes on and on forever.
And that sunset.
The sunset is awesome.
Yeah.
You can see how it's not like it's blinding or anything. It's just like a perfectly round orange sun.
Yeah.
And there's so many abandoned places along this road, and old cemeteries, and some remnants of old towns that once, like crossroads more so, I guess, that once stood along. But it really is a nice drive. This is, I'm not sure what I guess we're still on 501, it's considered.
Yes.
About 21 miles outside of Lynchburg. And maybe over this hill you can see the sunset. I don't know, it's sinking fast. It sure is.
Sure is.
But you can see this road just
You
goes.
can see the colors up in the sky.
So we stopped here at this Hardee's, and on the go, we got to eat really quick, like I mentioned. And I got this garlic bread thick burger. It looked like it was fairly new on the menu. I'll see if I can give you some light on it there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's not as thick as I would like a burger to be, but there is some meat in there. There's a burger. And I don't know if this is a good idea to eat this in the car, because once again, I do have the khaki pants on. They're clean. My shirt's clean too, for now. Oh, and look at this. Like, the top of this, if you can see, it's like you can see the garlic bread. Like, oh man, look at that.
Wow.
Huh? This is a messy. Did they put that one upside down, maybe? I think that's probably supposed to be on the inside. Who knows? Here it goes. Oh. Mmm.
Yeah, imagine they're in a little.
So this is the driveway coming up to the next location, and I hope we'll be able to run some video here. We'll see. So we opened up this app here at the location, and look, it says Kyle, and guess who's here? There's Kyle. Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty crazy.
Now, Kyle, I got to tell you about this app, right?
Yeah.
This is the 4th time we've turned this on an investigation. It said somebody's name that was there.
No.
Yeah. Earlier,
No, like really?
Earlier, it said a name at this cabin, and the lady said that name was on mail that she was getting.
Really?
Someone that moved out of the cabin and never changed her address.
Huh.
Then, last night, the girl was holding it, and it said her name.
Really?
Yep, and then at the investigation before that last night, it said the lady's mother's name.
Really?
Yep. So that's pretty crazy.
You're not pulling my leg?
No, no. See, she wouldn't lie.
Nope.
I
No,
would,
but I know
she,
you would,
She
yeah.
would.
I know, it
probably
really did.
could.
So,
I assume she'd tell you the truth. I don't know.
what's the name of the app, Jeff?
I'll have to ask Linda. I forget, because where this app came
Ghost
from is
detector with a hand.
the investigation I went to last night in the neighborhood, the haunted neighborhood. She was using this app, and she was getting some pretty interesting responses. So we thought we'd start experimenting with it just to see.
It's called
That makes
Ghost
sense.
detector, and it's got the hand.
Well, if
But not
so
the
many
ghost detector with
coincidence-
radar.
I know, yeah, that's what I
that
first
one was
thought
the
of.
fake one.
Like the UFO. Like the UFO radar.
The UFO one's pretty legit, I think.
Okay.
Now
No,
it
but-
said Roger. Is there any history of a Roger?
I know a Roger,
Yeah.
but probably not. I mean, because he just works with a friend. It's not like he's my friend.
Yeah. And what used to be the front door.
Well, if it says the other name, then we know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Water pipe coming in into that wall.
He's a busy boy.
This app right here,
Yeah.
when she turned, it said Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
right.
Yeah.
It was
How many times is that now that it said somebody's name related?
That's what
Yeah.
he was just telling me. And
Yes.
my first question was, is he pulling my leg?
No, we just started using it, what, a couple days ago?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And for every investigation, there's at least one name that's come through that's directly related to the people who were in there.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting
Yeah.
enough to at least experiment with
It is.
I
It
first
is.
thought you were talking about the old ghost, the old radar.
Oh yeah, no,
But it's
not
different.
Ghost Detector. I think is what it's called. I've downloaded it to my phone too, and I've been using it. And I actually, I think it's
Worth it?
It's interesting.
well worth it.
It's interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna walk around and take some pictures, do some baseline pictures throughout the house, and it's currently 11:11, which is the second time today I've looked at that clock and it's been 11:11.
Really? You were up that early, huh?
Yeah, my dad said
ridiculous.
that he's gonna buy a lottery ticket every time he looks at the clock and sees that it's 11:11. He's bound and determined to win the lottery before he dies. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Maybe he's out at 7-Eleven buying a lottery ticket now that's gonna win $1 million.
I got ice.
Is that ice?
Uh-huh.
Where'd you get that?
The refrigerator, the freezer.
Well, there's only one thing to do.
What?
Did it say Ethan again? I thought that sounded like that's the first name that came up, I think, on her app out there in the living. It was Ethan, yeah. And I thought I just heard it again come through.
I do remember Ethan coming up on that app.
Yeah, it did come through there. So, yeah. Does Ethan, the name Ethan, have some significance in this property? Who was Ethan?
Who was the person that killed this man? Was it somebody that lived in this house? Why was he killed?
Different this time. It sounds like everybody's trying to talk through it.
It might be different because it's on AM currently
okay.
rather than FM.
Oh, okay.
So it does sound a little different on AM.
Okay.
You want to try switching over to FM?
Yeah, actually.
We want to know who killed this man.
Paranormal Shakedown.
Was he killed on this property?
Can you tell me his name?
I didn't understand that.
Sound like it said quit speaking.
Quit speaking? I was thinking speaking or sleeping.
I heard the quit, yeah.
Quit speaking?
Do you want us to stop talking?
Or were you talking to someone else?
Or did the guy talk too much that you killed with the axe?
Oh. Well, there you go.
We want to know if there's more than one here with us, aside from the 6 of us. Is there anybody else here? We want to know about the man with the axe in his head.
Did you say you're funny?
I heard 2 things. I heard that's funny, or you're funny, or then I heard something else.
Oh.
I heard that. Same person. It was like, oh, now I forget. It was so quick.
Can you tell us, whoever you are, can you just tell us why that axe is in his head?
There's plenty of us.
for some reason.
Oh.
Like I heard them both at the same
There's
time. Does that
plenty.
make sense?
Yeah.
Like I heard the
It
possibility.
could have been. There's plenty of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard the possibility of it say that's funny or something, and then I also
Yeah.
at the same time I heard there's plenty of us. Can you give us a number?
Do you know anybody whose name is listed on these papers over here? Do you know somebody who lived in this house or who lived on this property?
A lot. What year did you live here? Can you tell me why you are still connected to this home?
I ate them. Probably not what it was. Yeah, right?
It could have been hate, though. It could have been hate.
It could have been I hate them.
Because hate would keep somebody attached. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if this
that's
person
true.
does think that the people that killed him are still here, he could hate them
Right.
and be attached to this area.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I look like the person who killed you?
You know, I thought about that. Maybe you look similar to people that were here previously, and that's why. Maybe he's mistaking, or he or she is mistaking you for.
I also wondered if maybe the wife set him up.
That's what I was
Maybe if it was his wife.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Maybe she looks like his wife, and the wife set him up.
And the wife was having an affair with the hired help.
It could
So
be.
she lured him out here and the hired help killed him.
Or,
be.
yes, exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
also with Linda because I was thinking the same thing, where she wanted to get rid of him for any. It could have been affair, could have been
And had
abuse, it
people
could have
break
been,
into the
and
house.
had the robbery
Right.
like completely framed.
Just so that you were.
That's
You know,
true.
set that up to kill her husband.
That's what I thought when we first got here, and she
Yep.
said what she. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Yep.
Was that she looks like his wife, and the wife set him up.
Yep. Me too. 100%.
But like, huh?
Which ones? Those are the.
So if you're looking at the where the old house was, to the left, there's like woods. You've got the tree, and then there's like a cut of like woods.
Yeah.
I felt like, not necessarily being pulled, but like, I mean, I was standing there the entire time with my left side to those woods, and I felt like if my left side weighed like an extra like 30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah, like
And you were standing there with your right side to that section of
and
wood.
I said my right side is like completely off balance.
That's interesting.
I sure hope not.
Let's see the house. You're good.
Look at this. Yes. Isn't that neat? Yeah, but you can say what you want, because I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, the cinder blocks looks fairly new, but
I mean, it's
they
not.
have some wooden steps in here. Make sure there's no critters in there.
Well, there's metal latches on this thing, so it can't be that old. Hinges.
Nails, and those are
Yeah, and there's a
No,
faucet
it
in
can't be
here.
that old. Oh, Jeff.
Yeah.
See that right there?
What is it?
Right there.
Oh, okay. It's not a snake.
No, it's a spider.
Oh, okay. All right, we're back. We're good.
You are? No, we're not.
Okay.
You might be.
Yeah, there's a chain. Looks pretty old.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a big spider. Look at that thing.
There's a hornet's nest.
Don't poke the hornet's nest.
I mean, yeah, there's a metal pipe coming through. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Somebody did some extensive work on this well house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. He's up here, and right now, see, they're staying pretty straight. But it was interesting up the hill how they were crossing.
Yeah.
You know,
What
at
if
certain
you-
places.
What if go inside there and see if it makes Oh, there it goes.
Yeah. Now, just let me make sure that wasn't me walking. Just kind of reset them, see if it crosses here again. And yep, it's crossing.
Yeah.
So we could definitely find water. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know about anything else. What'd you find there?
Oh, I found me some Miller Lite. Look. Oh, it's High Life too.
Oh man, that might be
It's the
expired.
champion. Oh, sorry, the champagne of beers.
Indeed, it
is
is.
what it says.
And this is the kind of can that has the pull tab on the top.
Yeah,
Look at
look.
that. Isn't that crazy?
That is really cool.
So someone was out here just partying it up probably like 50 years ago.
Man,
Had a
look
little
at
bit
them
of
all.
Budweiser,
Holy cow!
a little bit of Miller Lite.
Look up. Look at all of them. They're all over here.
Jeez.
Wonder what this one is. This one's probably just rusted.
Yeah, that one's pretty well rusted out. Still got some
This
beer in
one's
it.
pretty cool though.
That's vintage right there.
Yeah.
Megan, what do you got
No,
over
that's
there?
not
Look at that burger. Is that mozzarella sticks on that? And bacon?
Yes. Mozzarella sticks.
It looks like some type of meat.
Oh, it's a burger.
That looks reminiscent of what I got last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
His was more disgusting.
Had everything on there. What did you get? You got the hoagie or what?
I got a steak and cheese hoagie with some mild peppers and some lettuce.
Oh man.
And we can't forget
I don't
the
really
Dr.
see this.
Pepper barbecue sauce.
Yes, you've sampled that for the first time, right?
It's quite good.
So over here we got the flatbread.
Turkey. I think it's got guacamole and bacon and tomato, and I ordered a whole one instead of a half. I expected a half to be half of this, not for this to be the half and this to be the other half.
Oh my God.
Oh, geez, you got two of them.
That's what I'm guessing, is somehow it got screwed up.
Oh man, that's crazy. Is it hot? Is it like?
It's warm. Yeah, it's actually quite good. It's not too warm.
It's not like a cold turkey wrap.
Right. Yep, slightly warm.
Well, I guess you can't
I'll
put it
show
cold
you.
turkey.
Funny you should ask.
Move the drink. Yeah, there you go.
I did get this Mountain Dew that I haven't tried before, the live wire. And these are. Is he stepping back for this one? It's not gonna be evidence. Boneless bites with habanero sauce on them. Is this yours, fork? These up for grabs, these forks? So I mean, nothing for me to really do an obnoxious bite of by any means. Oh, and there's these potato skins. Look at these, loaded potato skins. I'll pick one up so you can kind of get a look at it. They have jalapeno, there's some bacon that fell off of that one. We'll throw it back. I'm assuming it fell off of this one. We'll just throw it back up on there. So these are very hot. So you kind of want to let them cool for a little bit.
No, forget it. Put that whole thing in your mouth.
All right.
Jeff, tell us how it is.
Did you try this barbecue sauce? It's really good. You don't like it?
probably washed down this Dr. Pepper barbecue sauce with Dr. Pepper.
So it's about 6 o'clock Sunday morning, and we finally made it back from our last investigation and our 4 investigation weekend, and a series of some interesting investigations. Now, this last investigation that we did, along with a couple of the other ones, will be available as episodes of Paranormal Case Files coming later on, and those episodes will have the evidence review and such in them. Also, Paranormal Case Files is on Amazon Prime. So if you do like Paranormal Case Files, you can go on there and watch it as well, Virginia Paranormal Case Files. And if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, forget the whole rating thing there.